I do like the spray, by the way, that Ravens do have, Jonathan. I think that's a reference to One Piece Man. It's pretty nice.
One Piece Man?
Excuse me, One Punch Man.
Who is One Piece Man, Mike?
Listen, there's some big news about One Piece that came out recently, all right? So it's in my mind.
Oh, God. One Piece Man. I've heard a lot of silly things from you, Mike, but One Piece Man.
New anime idea, Jonathan.
That's exactly what's happening after One Piece. Once they find a One Piece, then it'll combine with One Punch Man, and there you go. The next crazy shonen coming out, guys.
Moving on. 5-man smoke is here from Ravens. Looks like they are going to try and force a level 1 team fight, perhaps, as they are holding on to the high ground. Hoping somebody does show up for the bounty.
What? The battle
you blew it.
And, I mean, Duel breaks the smoke. That'll be enough. Ravens back their way out immediately, seeing that they've missed the opportunity. Sky was actually trying to fight for that last bounty rune. Is he going to make it? He will. Just barely. It'll be a 2 for 2. And of course, the 17%'s already coming out here against Argus. But now he's being chased down. Blood Grenade is there. Argus is actually dropping quite low. Sky was going for the man fight, but he is going to lose. Kara is able to secure first blood on the Pugna, as Ush is still trying to do something about this, but now he's being chased down. He's not going to die. They don't have the Fury Swipes, but it's a lot of damage that's just been dealt here to the side of TiltedBoys. And I mean, Kara, to be fair, does look like he needs a reset. Sky was looking for a bash. He has not got one. Kara is going to run out of there alive, but now Argus is in trouble. The bash came out on Argus. So now both of the Ravens are very low. John, like, well, what are we doing here in this top lane?
They're looking for kills, Mikey. That's all it is. You know, you go into lane, you don't look to CS, you don't look for any of these boring things playing PvE for the first 3 minutes. No, you go for blood. Unfortunately, Argus doesn't have any region on hand, so I would like to see him ferry something out, and does look like he has a set of tangos coming in and his full wand, so should be able to stabilize. Maybe a little bit of flash healing necessary. You don't have the mana to sustain the harass from Kara any longer, but you do get a pretty decent start coming out for Ravens. Lots of back and forth there. Still taking a look at the other lanes here. Down bot, we do have Ferte on that Morphling, along with Dor on the Undying, up against Italiano Gangstar on the Doom, and Wake Me Up on the Rubik. Let me just say again, Italiano Gangstar has the best name in any division. Hands down.
It's a nice name, I must admit. It is a good name. I mean, is he even Italian? Like, have we confirmed if he's actually Italian?
I've done an interview with him. I never asked that. I just assume he is. I just assume.
Oh, right. So, I mean, maybe we'll have to ask if we ever get the chance to talk to the guy. Like, hey, dude, are you actually Italian? You just think Italians are really cool. Like, you just really like Italian gangsters.
What happens if he says he's not, though?
I mean, if he's not, he's not, John. Nothing happens, John. We just have a quick laugh and, you know, say thank you for the interview. Bye-bye, sir.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just drop him after that questions. Like he's not really dropping the ball in this lane, but it's not looking too good for the Doom. 5-1, a pretty free lane for Ferte. You can't really threaten early on. Dor's doing a great job of, you know, just being undying, stepping up, copying all the harass, ensuring that the Morphling's free to farm. And this is going to be pretty hard if they don't manage to find an angle in, like get some sustain going. Maybe the Vanguard build comes out for Italiano Gangstar. The camps are blocked as well, so no creep to kind of steal into and try to make something happen. And a slower start for the Doom. It feels pretty bad because we've seen Dooms kind of hit this Vanguard Octarine or Vanguard Midas timing. This case, it doesn't look like Italiano Gangstar will find any of that anytime soon here.
No, certainly not. We'll keep tabs on this one. As of course, mid lane is the one lane we haven't actually looked at yet. Wildcard and RRL is one of the names I hate to say because, you know, saying RR twice is not very fun. But anyway, you get my point, Jonathan. These two guys are going at it. So far, the Storm's having a great old time. 24-3 in terms of CS. No struggle whatsoever for him. So Wildcard maybe falling a little bit behind us. Top lane. Ush is being chased down right now, but he's going to turn back in onto Kara. And it seems like they've got the Pugna eventually as Ush I mean, he is going to be fine to get
Argus,
away
what are
now.
you doing?
Argus going for the kill, but no, he's going to go down. They get the kill eventually, but it's nowhere near worth it.
Yeah, they overcommit on that one for the side of Ravens. Just throwing their Ursa forward to try to find that kill down mid. Still going.
Wake me up. I mean, he showed up for the water rune timing, but he gets punished for it as now they would try and deal with the Ember, but they've lost the Storm as well. Door just doing so much work on the Undying already. It's not too often you get to see Pos 5 Undyings rotate like this, but Door's making it work and he's making it look good.
Oh.
As Volodka, he's going to barely survive. Seems like we're in for one of those games, John, where everyone's just going to die.
Yeah, this is a bloodbath. Just a lot of aggression. Again, we talked about this from the draft, but this is to be expected from the side of Tilted Boys. You need to get the Sunnis. They're diving top
Argus.
again.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Argus being chased down. Skyward's got no charge for another 10. Argus should be all right. They haven't got any spells to throw out, but they're just going right in for the dive. I mean, if Ush keeps the vision up, then you can still go for the charge, but he has no mana for it. Now he does, but they've lost the vision. So Argus is going to be just fine. But I suppose at the end, there's so much time that he's not farming. Whereas you look at the Morphling, Ferte is just having the freest time of his life.
Yeah, again, no contestation for the Morph. A lot of pressure up top, and this is what you want to see from the side of Tilted Boys. This is how you get this draft going. It's got to win out early. It's got to get that early advantage. You're getting a lot of aggression out just with the Batrider Spirit Breaker combination. Skyward's been doing a great job of identifying when to charge in, and quite frankly, he's the highest skilled player with all these bashes. Like almost always getting that second hit bash. Just what can you do? A better player.
That's very true, John. Very, very true.
Ooh.
Oh, double damage room picked up here by the Storm. RRL looking to fight back perhaps. A nice rotation here, but it may not pan out. Skyward just keeps going, looking for the bashes. He's not going to get it. So he kind of needed to keep going to buy the space for Volodka to be able to back out of there. So he does kind of sacrifice himself. Sadly for Tilted Boys, though, they miss out on the rune and they drop a body to the Storm.
Yeah, really good deny from RRL going for the Vortex and right-click off as there were some good body blocks coming out here from Volodka. And they finally find some punishment on the side of Ravens. Nice kill that has left top exposed.
The Skyward's been super aggressive this game. He's going to find the Ursa again by the looks of it as Ush takes him down. Kara even getting bashed on the way out. But this Spirit Breaker Batrider lane has proven to be so effective as now Italiano Gangster is gone. Door also being chased. I mean, sure, you find Door in the end, but the amount of value this guy's getting from the Undying, not going to feel very good if you're Ravens. And for now, Tilted Boys, they are just doing such a fantastic job.
They are. Ferta has the freest lane of his life. The aggression is really kicking in from the side of Tilted Boys and Ravens. I mean, this draft is going to take some time to build up. Even if you hit this level 6 on RRL, it's not like you're that close to it for Kara, although to be fair, the Pugn's not too far off. So you'll still have this life drain combination with the Storm, but when you think about the Doom and Ursa, no one else is going to connect to that Storm. And speaking of, Argus again.
Lane. Argus is just not being left alone, but the TPs are incoming now. RRL feeling like he has to do something about this. Will rotate, but he's half HP, and Ush is going to try for a TP play out, but the Vortex is there. They will at least get the Batrider for their trouble. But you look at this Ursa's farm, John. Argus has literally nothing. He's got phase boots and a wand.
Yep. He is very, very far behind. A nice lead built up by Tilted Boys on the course. And it's going to take some time. Again, you're going to have to recover here. They will find Wake Me Up. Volodka will take it with the slight from the vision on the charge. And it's rough, like, because now your entire draft on Ravens, it's going to have to sit back and farm for quite a fair bit of time. And that's time where Tilted Boys will not let you rest. They'll just constantly run down. They'll constantly look for these kills and leverage that aggression that their early levels does provide for them. They don't need to wait for too much here outside of perhaps your farm on Ferta, but that's just a bonus in the end. He's your win condition just farming freely anywhere.
Absolutely. It's a back and forth game already between these two. So many kills happening. Already 12 kills in almost 9 minutes. But Fuerte is the big deal here in the Morphling. Just free game for him. No contest at the moment. Sitting at highest net worth in the game and is going for the Lincoln Sphere build-up, which is pretty standard right now. We see it all the time. That's kind of the thing, though. Like, you see a Morphling play atop of the net worth board, you know something's wrong when you're less than 10 minutes in. It's not like a normal sight to see. And sure, like, eventually you're going to have this Ursa that has a Battle Fury and you still have a Doom with Devour with a minus on the way, but the timings are just so late comparatively that it feels like Fuerte is just getting away with too much here in this game. A farmed Morphling, they can just carry the game 1v5 if they want to.
Yeah. It's troubling for the side of Ravens for sure. And TiltedBoys are, again, they've got this early momentum that your lineup on Ravens can't really look to punish too much mid.
Jump in Wildcard. He's trying to fight over this 10-minute power rune timing, but the Storm does pick up a regen. So he's going to be just fine as Ravens, they do rotate more heroes in. I mean, TiltedBoys, they are going a little bit too far. At least picking up Wake Me Up for now, but the Doom is going to come out onto the Ember. It's going to be a very nice trade here for Ravens now as they do clean up the mid lane. The TiltedBoys, they just keep going, John. They don't know how to back off.
Yeah. They just, no stop button, you know? It's like, they unbound the stop button here.
Oh my god! Kara missed how many uphill hits? He's actually just dead.
That is...
How many times did he miss?
It's so awkward. You'd feel like Tombstone maybe works like a ward type kind of building or unit, but you still miss uphill. It's not like ward. You get punished. Unfortunate.
He didn't even have Soul Rip, John. That was literally all misses.
Yeah.
He must have missed like 3-4 times in a row.
That takes me back to the old days of Dota when you could miss on wards. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
you'd miss on like a couple of hits, like 3-4 times in a row, and you'd die trying to D-ward. It's like, oh, God bless. God bless Dota 2.
Good old days. Top lane, T1 Tower is going to be focused here by TiltedBoys. It'll be a very easily focused tier 1 tower. No real contest here for the side of TiltedBoys. They just take it for free as Fuerte is, what, 500 gold away from Lincoln's now? A lot of the spells you can throw out to control the Morphling this game are just going to be, you know, kind of null and invalid. Like, what do you got? You got Lift, you got Vortex, and you've got Doom. Obviously, the Lincoln Sphere's biggest kind of job this game is to try and block out Doom, but even if you don't, like, there's just so much to watch out for as they do make the jump in or Wake Me Up. The Rubik being controlled up with a bash and RRL in the meantime in huge trouble as he's trying to zip TP away. He's going to go down anyway. As now Argus shows up. So now suddenly the Ursa's in the team fight. He's just going to go for the mad fight. Well, I don't know about that, Argus. Kara now, I mean, he's trying to run, gets chained up, and he's down. Argus pops the enrage, doesn't back out of there. He just keeps hitting.
Yeah, both sides have really enjoyed fully committing to these fights. Works out a lot better for TiltedBoys in comparison to Ravens. Still find the mid as well. I mean, just really unfortunate that your Storm doesn't manage to zip TP. Very low already, waiting for that bottle refill. Doesn't find it and just falls apart. Very baseline coming out there from the side of TiltedBoys as well. And this game just doesn't simplify while you're at the deficit like this. Like, you've still got this farm on Fuerte you're worrying about. The full Lincoln's up and running. So again, your one counter into Doom's kind of knocked off. You don't even have an easy way of getting the Doom on top of the Morphling anyway. And for Ravens, it's all about trying to mitigate losses. Just don't commit for these kinds of fights because you need farm. Your Ursa's still far behind. Your Storm's your only hero that's kind of matching up. Even then, still lagging behind in comparison to that Morph in a big way. And your Doom just doesn't feel like a Doom. Like, you're so far behind. With Midas, with Devour, you should be much further ahead, but they need time here on the side of Ravens, and TiltedBoys are doing a great job of denying time away.
That they are. Making it very, very challenging right now for Ravens throughout this game number 1. But now even the Octarine calls up on Ush, so the Bat Rider spell is just such a low cooldown. He can get even more active now as the Bat Rider. Charges out somewhere. Coming on to Italiano Gangster. Door's actually already started a team fight. Tombstone now down. Door actually somehow alive, but no. The Nether Ward takes him out. He tried to go for a decay onto Italiano. In comes Ush though to clean up. Kara's down.
The zombies.
Italiano Gangster's down. And Door, like, sure, he ends up killing himself with the Nether Ward, but it's a pos 5 going down for a position 3 and a position 5. It's so much value here for TiltedBoys. It's just looking so tough for Ravens. Look at Skyward. Just casually charging into the Ursa. He doesn't care. He'll walk out eventually, but they're just taking warning shots here at the Ursa and he just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, just don't have counterplay right now on the side of Ravens. It's just the aggression, the amount of wins that TiltedBoys came out with from the laning phase. Just, it's not something this lineup deals with. It has to sit back and farm. And someone's going to have to cop a death or two. I guess when it comes down to it, you'd much rather Italiano Gangstar to take that attention, as you've got some room to breed for RL and for Argus, but it's a long time that he's got to buy space on this Doom for. And it's just difficult for them to play into Tombstone. Like, you do have 3 ranged heroes, but none of them attack particularly fast. So as long as it's on the high ground, you get a lot of value here from Door. They'll try a smoke play out.
Yeah, big rotation. Door and Ush gonna be around the area, so be some big kills here for Ravens if they could find it. Problem is now Fuerte's gonna show up, and the charge is there from Skyward. Kara already gone. It's Wake Me Up also caught out on the Rubik, probably just gonna die and will do so. Everyone else at least gets out of there here on Ravens' end of things, but TiltedBoys, it's kind of the thing when you're 7k ahead with a draft like this that can just roam across the map so quickly. It's pretty hard to make a smoke rotation. Like, you don't have any time to hesitate. You're just gonna jump in, claim somebody's life, and get the hell out.
Yeah, the ward drop definitely just killed off any chance of them making a play there on the side of Ravens. Just have no map control, no vision really down here for this Stars side. Look at the forward aggressive vision coming out from TiltedBoys. They've got pretty damn good control. They've always got good information as to where the side of Ravens are at. And they just have to keep stalling for time. Argus, though, not safe.
It doesn't look like it. He does have help around, but he's going to pop the Enrage just in case. He just doesn't know if there's a charge coming. Now there is. Skyward seeing Wake Me Up, wants to go right for the kill, though he may have gone a bit too far now as there's 4 heroes around. Skyward going to get punished here on the SB. Ravens, they'll take the free kill and they'll back out of there safely. The funny thing is, though, TiltedBoys, they almost felt like they were just going to keep going. They'll decide better of it, and they will back off ultimately in the end. But Ravens now, they're going to pop a smoke. Charges out onto Ush here by our Rubik, so they've got the vision constantly here on Ush. But eventually they will cancel it off because the rest of the team can't keep up with him.
Yeah, but at least with a stolen charge, you have a way of breaking up these fights now on the side of Ravens. So some play coming out. You've got the full Battle Fury up and running for Argus. And so now your Ursa's going to be able to catch up. And the lead hasn't grown too far between the cores. 3k gap is still big, but not unplayable for a Doom and an Ursa to kind of try to catch up here. With a BKB fully up on Italiano as well, the Doom's not going to be as exposed. So some solutions presenting itself for the Dara side. Let's see if TiltedBoys can find a way to not really reel it back. It's still in their control, but, you know, gain more while they can, because as this game starts to stall out, the Storm, the Doom, and the Ursa, they do scale pretty damn well. And for the side of TiltedBoys, you don't necessarily want to try and take it into the late game if you don't have to.
Looks like Vodka might get caught, but no, he's fine. Just casually walks out. There's now Roshan started, apparently. TiltedBoys. Going right after the Roshan pit. Well, she's actually going to TP out of here. Though, to be fair, they don't need a Bat Rider to help here. So he's just going to leave the area. Show on the map maybe be kind of the distraction for Tilted Boys so they can get away with this for free. It's a pretty big deal as well for Ravens, right? Because you've got an Ursa on your team. This hero loves taking a free Roshan, but that is not going to happen. Forte will be able to take it himself very, very soon, and it's a pretty big list for Ravens because they still have to go for the bottom T1 tower. It's too late.
They've got the response here.
Rotations are in. Kara's going to try to run, but the lasso going to hold him down. Skyward going for the charge in is going to find a little bit more, but he's all alone at the moment. In they come to try and help out. Argus, he still has the enrage. He will pop it and just try to run, but the chase is on from Fuerte. He'll pick up Italian Gangster for now, but still manages to walk away. So 1 for 1 in the end. Obviously favoring Ravens right now because they're the ones behind. And with that, I mean, Tilted Boys, they'll just kind of cut their losses and back out of it.
They managed to defend their bot tier 1, hanging on a sliver of HP, but that's still map control denied away from Ravens for them to try to equalize here. Hold on.
Yeah, whoosh. Gonna be targeted. RRL with a big zip in, and suddenly the Bat Rider's just gone. Just absolutely melting to the damage output of the Ursa Storm as now the chains are out. They've actually locked down RRL. Never mind. It was a big pick-off just a moment ago, but losing your Storm probably not going to be the best of trades.
Yeah, RRL just stays down in the river. Doesn't respect that mid-tier 1 still stands. He didn't see the rune. He didn't manage to pick up the rune. And he gets punished for it. So what was a pretty decent pick-off now just is kind of meh. You're not winning enough from these engagements for Ravens, even though it technically does favor them, but taking these losses just doesn't feel great. Side of Tilted Boys now, you still have Aegis. Morphling isn't really scared of being low HP. Just push on to the tier 2. And still just constantly apply this map pressure. Just never give any room out to Ravens. They still need time to catch up. Like, your Ursa needs so much more. And Italian Gangster at the least is reaching that blink. So perhaps it becomes a little bit easier to try to break Lincolns and get Doom off. But with 2 lives up for Ferte, I don't think even a Doom play here past the Lincolns will do much for that second life.
We'll zip in. Fuerte, I mean, they will try. RRL trying to burst down one of the lives, but Fuerte is still fine to just back his way up. But now instead they do go after Door, but he has the Glimmer Cape, so he's surviving a little bit longer than anticipated. And now, well, Tilted Boys, they might just move back in. Fuerte's going by himself though, but in comes the charge from Skyward. He's gonna land a 3-man bash out, but he's just deleted here by Argus. Oh, Tilted, they might be feeding quite a few kills away in this team fight. They've already lost 2. Skyward, he's gonna buy back to try and come back in. Waveform away from Fuerte. Keep in mind, Doom was already committed as well. Tilted Boys, they seem like they want to chase for the kills. They want to try and even out the fight. Argus is the one being chased right now, so it's a pretty big pick-off. Lasso's going to be there. They'll drag him back, and at least they'll find the Ursa. In fact, they want more. Kara also caught out. The Nether Strike landing here from Skyward. And with that, they're right onto the Tormentor.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth this time. If they didn't pop that Doom onto Wildcard, that fight could have gone a lot better. You might have been able to find 2 lives of Ferte, taking the Morph completely out of the picture. Gained a lot more from that exchange, but again, it's just not the cleanest coming out from Ravens. They're forced to Doom up Wildcard instead, ensure that the Ember's not jumping in and out of these fights. They overstay their welcome, not respecting that a charge was coming all the way across the map with a buyback from Skyward. And again, they don't manage to equalize just yet in Ravens. They do at least take away the threat of Aegis, but that doesn't feel like it's enough just yet. So much more needs to come out here for the Dara side, and just doesn't feel like they have the time to do so.
A nice retreat here from Ravens. Italian Gangster and RRL backing off at the right time as the rotations were incoming. Sticking around, Ravens. They want to try and defend this top tier 2 tower. Mind, they are still fighting against a team with an 8k advantage, and this Morphling certainly proving to be very, very strong at the moment as chains around. Lasso's committed. They found the Ursa again, and Argus is gone. Nether Strike out onto Kara as well. They've caught even more. At least RRL is able to zip out, but 3 are down already. In the blink of an eye, they just disappear.
They just melt. And the side of Ravens have to coordinate a lot better in these fights. Whereas for Tilted Boys, it's not as hard, right? You run in, as long as you back someone up, you'll always find a kill. You can just constantly commit with your Spirit Breaker and with your Bat Rider. You can poke and prod with Wildcard. It's much more forgiving for Tilted Boys to play a little bit more disjointed together. Whereas for Ravens, they are sticking together, but it's just the angles are never clean. They're just not able to walk in as a team. They keep starting fights oddly with Argus up front, maybe a little bit too far forward. And once you lose the Ursa, it just falls apart. So you need to be a lot more cautious here on the side of the Ravens. They will smoke up as a 3-man unit. See if they find anything. That Doom's been itching to go off in Italiano Gangstar. But again, they don't have forward vision. So when they cross that river, it's all blind.
Certainly is. We'll see how it does pan out. They are rushing in. The triangle is the location they want to go to. And Fuerte, they are going to find him very, very soon. But he's just going to wait for him away, seeing Wake Me Up show up. And now, well, we know Tilted Boys, they just want to go. Wake Me Up, he jumped in on his own.
Why?
Miscommunication, perhaps. He just went right in. And now, I mean, Ush is having a look around for a lasso target. 5-5 pop, trying to keep up with somebody, but they're all backing out of there. All the rest of the fight. Ravens looking more like the Tilted Boys themselves now. John, I mean, just very interesting blink in, does not pan out.
It's so strange. Like, the smoke breaks under the Watcher, so you have that defensive use of waveform from Ferte. And the other two heroes decide to back off. Italiano and Kara back off, but Wake Me Up just keeps going forward. And I know, it's those kinds of plays, right? Like having your Ursa forward, walking in like this without the rest of your teammates. It's just disjointed right now from the side of Ravens. And Tilted Boys, and maybe a bit of a slowdown right now in terms of taking more off the map, but you've taken all the outer towers anyway. You don't really mind. It's just a high ground left, and you're probably just waiting for Roshan to hit that mark. Ravens, they're not completely out of it, but at 14k behind, this game is just so hard to play. Especially with how you're working as a team. It's just not there. If they somehow coordinate an initiation in, you know, get RRL to slip through the cracks, follow up with your Doom, get Argus some room to just twack away, maybe you can start taking some wins. But for now, it's certainly looking a lot easier for Tilted Boys to play this game, even though the plus giving Tilted Boys a 93% chance to win now, which is fair. Ravens, they've got to work extra hard for that 7% chance here, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not looking like a very good game for them, to say the least. Just none of the lanes really working out in their favor, apart from the mid lane. And sadly for RRL, he just has not been able to really play with anyone else. He's still doing pretty well in terms of farm on the Storm, but has not really translated to a strong performance. So we're going to see a smoke up now behind Fuerte. You do have the whole side of Tilted Boys behind this Morphling at the moment. Fuerte is not getting jumped though. He's perfectly fine. So instead, Tilted Boys, they're going to roam through the northern side of the map. Wake Me Up is actually the closest target to them, but he's down south. Volodka might run into them. Might run into him though. Wake Me Up. Oh, he blinks out in time. He's going to be just fine. With that, instead, they'll just take the outpost, just continue controlling the map and growing your net worth lead. While it is giving time for Ravens, it's not really like they have much space to farm in right now. So, you know, is the time really any value? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's still a little bit valuable, though it's going to take a lot more time for you to hit a point where you're comfy here on the side of Ravens. The Ags timing for RL, it's going to be a big one. AoE Vortex, giving them a little bit more team fight. A good way of just kind of taking these engagements. That does take away one more Lincoln's Pop, though, to deal with Ferte. So it's going to be, you're going to have to be on point with your movement out on Kara and Wake Me Up to be in range to get the Lincoln's Pop while the Vortex is on, and then get the Doom on. And that's already a lot of steps that, you know, quite frankly, I don't have a lot of confidence and Ravens just coordinating like that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound that hard. You zip in, you vortex, you break Lincolns with either decrypt or lift, and you go for it. But I don't know, like, Ravens has just been not together as a team. And that's the basic play we have to see moving forward. They'll try with a smoke out now, but see if they find the angle.
Well, then they need to fight for this next Roshan. That's the thing. Like, you gave up the first Roshan already. You don't really want to have that happen a second time. And Ravens now trying to rush towards the pit. Skyward, though, he goes right in for a charge on the creep wave, actually landing onto the Ursa. Italian and Gangsters made the jump in, but the lasso's there onto the Doom. Maybe they can burst him down in time. He's getting quite low. Meanwhile, Skyward, he actually gets out of there. The Nether Strike allowing him the space to get out, as now Argus needs to get out himself. Oh, but he gets bashed. He's gone. So is Wake Me Up. 19k advantage now with 3 going down in that last team fight. In fact, there might be a dieback to happen. Kara just bought back. An immediate dieback out. Tips out from Ush to rub salt into the wound. They're into the Roshan pit once again, although Roshan's moving. Roshan's seen enough.
That's, again, it's just not panning out. Like, their smoke breaks from a good charge from Skyward. There were pings coming out under the ward. I'm not sure if they dropped something like a static remnant in that time frame, and the punishment is severe. And they're losing out on everything, Ravens. And again, it's just disjointed. Even if your smoke breaks like that, the Spirit Breaker is not your target with the bulldoze up, 70% stat resist. You can't keep him down long enough. Again, nothing's presenting itself for Ravens to go on top of. TiltedBoys playing really well, having a good understanding of what they might be looking for in Ravens, always just in position for Skyward. Even just charging into Creep Wave to break that smoke was massive. And the response from Ravens, it's panicked almost. They just all jump in. They threw out the Shivas. They throw out everything to try to find something there, and nothing presents itself. Ags up on RRL. Now that's one item up, but it doesn't fix any team fight issues. It doesn't fix your uncoordination here. You're out of sync on Ravens. That issue still stands, and I don't know if having a Vortex AoE is gonna make things simpler for you.
Yeah, it probably will not do exactly what they're looking for here. Like, the Vortex is nice, but yeah, you lose the way to break Lincolns, and so you're still 21k behind. It's not gonna make things that easy. And they need something, though, to be fair. Like, the blue hole might just be necessary here. As jump in is out. Fuerte just going to go right after Argus. Zip in is there. Vortex will hold him down. They've gone through the Aegis at the very least. That's a nice start here against the Morphlings. Now Ush needs to back his way out. Argus is dropping very low, and he has nowhere else to go but south, and he's down. So you've lost the Ursa now with that buyback. The tier 3 tower also under siege here from TiltedBoys. So you might lose the Aegis, but it doesn't seem like it's necessarily going to matter. The Fuerte may play it safer here with the mid-racks, as they will force the glyph out, and that's going to be enough. Or maybe not. Fuerte. He fakes back, comes back in. Vortex, no, the Yule Scepter, Skyward catching the storm, getting the bash with the charge out. A big Vortex though at the least. So Skyward does go down. But the chase is on. Wake Me Up caught out there for a moment. He does get away with the bulldoze, but Ush is still chasing. They'll take down the Rubik. But surprisingly enough, they do not stick around to finish off the mid-racks. I suppose with the Ursa coming up in a couple seconds, they do back their way out. I guess you could just always come back later, though, once your SP's back up and alive. Or maybe you could just go in now. Because it seems like TiltedBoys, they're looking for an opportunity to engage again. Zip in is there. Ush was ready, though, with the lasso. God. Perfect initiation. RRL barely able to zip out, though. Just barely. Bakare is going to die. He has no buyback for 40. And that'll be the mid-racks gone. They will get it eventually.
Yep. Clear it out. And find a bonus kill in the Pugna. 32-14. Complete control for TiltedBoys. Ravens. It's just very disjointed. It's just, I mean, the angle's in. Like, they pop the first life, but Argus is so far in, he can't back off. No one else is there to back him up. RL backs off. It's like, they need to get it together. Right now, it's like an actual team of 5 up against a pub stack, almost feels like, in terms of how we're seeing these fights break out. And that's not where you want to be for Ravens. And again, this is not a team that's inexperienced in the DPC. This is a team that played in the last tour and looked pretty promising as another NA team. Maybe, you know, a bit of a newer roster for sure, but you could say the same thing with TiltedBoys. You know, only Ferte and Wildcard are the ones that have maintained from their last roster as well, but it looks like they just understand each other a little bit better here.
They certainly look like they do. So there is going to be a 5-man smoke. Maybe going through that mid lane. RRL, he'd be the big target they'd love to start on. Be very cautious though. TiltedBoys, they might just wait for the creep wave to move up the high ground, provide that vision for them, as RRL is eventually going to show himself, but does zip at the right time. New Ush was probably looking. They did have a nice scan out as well, so they knew the smoke was there. And TiltedBoys, they aren't going to risk it, right? They, you know, smoke fails, they just back out. The mid lane,
Sure.
he actually just walks away. But
No.
TPs are incoming. He's just TPing right onto a zombie. Kara's going to get lassoed. It's just such a sad kind of sight to watch. Like, Doors by himself for a moment, but they just can't catch him. They just don't have the lockdown. They don't have the control.
Oh. They have nothing. They lose the Wisdom Rune as well. So, I know. Like, this is just... we're just waiting for the Ancient to fall at this point. I don't know if I can say anything about Ravens anymore. Like, this is... They've had a lot of opportunities. It's a rough game for sure after a rough start like that, but even the movement's out, it's just not together. It's... I don't know, you're dying to Morphling Illusions on RRL. That's how far gone it is, but how much Fert is farmed up.
Oh.
And, well, they saved the melee wall. No, for a moment it looks alive, but it's gone. Hey, at least you get Morph on Wake Me Up on the attribute shift so you can go full strength.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit late, but I guess why not? You know, better late than never. Probably needs it right now anyway, just to be able to survive. Is the 31k advantage now for TiltedBoys. I mean, they're just looking massive at the moment. Up top lane, Argus showed on the creep wave, so Skyward goes for an immediate charge. Not going to amount to too much though. His team wasn't there.
Oh, God.
Meanwhile, Italiano
no.
Gangster, he has lost his Ags.
2.5 minutes without that. That is... I don't think you're getting those 2.5 minutes back, quite frankly, with you here, Mike. TiltedBoys, for their part, I mean, they're taking it slow. They're not fully committing, so maybe you get 2.5 minutes for your courier to respawn. The Ags should simplify it. Again, you've got AoE Vortex, AoE Doom at that point. Surely, at that point, you can take a fight.
You'd
Surely.
hope so. But it may not be about the items. Like the previous engagements we've seen so far, it's proven to be more about the team coordination than anything, right? Like they just haven't looked like a team when they try to jump in. Obviously, it is Division 2. You know, this is the first day of Division 2, so plenty of time to work on your coordination as a unit, but certainly not off to the most flashy start, to say the least. Hopefully, these items change everything for their sake. You know, it gives them a second wind here, but they need something. The push is not going to come, so they might have time to have the Ags up. BKB is being worked on as well. And it seems like TiltedBoys, they might just play it very safely and just go for the next Roshan first. There's no real rush for them.
Yeah, there's no rush. Just feel like, they could probably just easily clear out the top racks, maybe get Megas before waiting out to push for the Ancient, but safe play doesn't really lose them out in too much here either. Ravens, well, it's only a minute left until Italiano's Ags is up, so hey, you are getting some time here, at the very least. BKB for RL should be around that timing as well, maybe a little bit further. So you have some play. Lincoln's as well being farmed up by Argus. That one's a lot further along the line. Not gonna have that anytime soon. And it's a decent enough Roche timer, 1 minute. You will have easy access to that for Tilted Boys. I mean, Ravens have not been able to even consider Roshan with an Ursa for the longest time. Overwhelming blink up for Ush. The Bad Rider with all these stats, man. Look at that right click, 212 universal type. Ursa, 119 as a carry. Amazing.
Seems fair. Bush. Jump is there. Kara going to be targeted, but Argus getting some bashes on the Bat Rider, make sure he can't keep going. In goes Skyward now onto Wake Me Up, trying to find a Ruby pick off to start. Now the strike not going to be committed as the Yule Scepter is there from Wake Me Up on the high ground. So everyone going to be fine to disengage now from Ravens. The Ags is now available on the Doom as well, by the way, so you've got that going for you. You are still 1 racks away from being Megas, though, so it's, you know, I question whether it's going to change anything here in this game, but we'll see very soon as Ush going to jump in, missing out on the lasso opportunity. Now he's going to be in danger, but no, he gets it off in time. His team is there to back him up, but it seems like they're dropping. Ush is gone. Skyward trying to run towards the north, but he is also going to get caught out. And he is dead as well. Pretty bad news here for Tilted Boys.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see for Tilted Boys. For Ravens, I mean, that's almost 4K gold coming out with those 2 kills, Mike. So the Ags does make a difference. They managed to play around with it. They don't fully commit on Tilted Boys. If you had Volobka and Ferte around, that might have been a very different story. They're still playing forward. I mean, mind you, Doom is down.
Doom is down. They're going to try. Buyback is there from Skyward, so he can just charge back in. Kara's the first target. There goes Wake Me Up as well. So both supports are already down. 3v5. And Ravens just don't bother even trying for the fight. They're just like, screw it, let the supports die. They've got buyback anyway. But now Roshan's open. So Tilted Boys, they will rush towards the Roshan pit as a unit. And if you're Ravens, you've missed out again.
Yeah, just not able to get the map control to reach forward into those areas. You know, your waves are shoved in, you've lost 2 sets of racks. Even after those 2 nice kills, you're left hanging. For the side of Ravens, they're going to need maybe 2-3 more of that kind of play for it to work out. And I don't know if you have the time to make those plays with your cooldowns and with the Aegis up and running coming out here on Tilted Boys, along with the free Ags. Wondering who they hand it off to. It looks like they will give it to Volobka. So it's not going to be like we get the early Morph Ags. Probably not the most impactful this game anyway. And Ravens, we have to see something. Doom back up in about half a minute. So they've got their team fight ready to go. They need more than just the offlane duo kill. They need, if they find Ferte somehow, if they find Volobka somehow, then this game does open up a little bit more. But again, it's going to take like 2 to 3 times of that kind of play, that kind of kill, to come out for Ravens to even have a shot at going outside their base here.
It certainly will. This is a smoke out now from Tilted Boys. Looking like they're just picking out the Wisdom Rune on the dire end of things, which was not secured here by Ravens. And so, never mind that. They're just going to go straight into the base. Ush on the front lines. Would love RRL. They've got the charge to give the vision as well. That's just such a big strength of the SB at the moment. The vision game he provides as RRL's going to try and jump in, but the BKB was there from Ush. He's not going to get caught. Now the chain's out, locking down a couple. They've almost got Wake Me Up down, and they do. Fuerte's got him. Argus going to try and run out of this situation, but even with the Doom up on their Doom, it's not looking good. Italian gangster's gone. RRL trying to buy back and zip, or rather just zip in from the fountain. But none of it's working. There's just no fight in them at the moment. RRL chained up, but the GG's called. They've seen enough. Game 1 in the books. Tilted Boys able to pull off the victory. Pretty rough affair here for Ravens. It just, both side lanes going really badly and then just nothing happening after.